My mom was the quintessential Nana, bar none. She drew such delight from her 7 grandchildren, Julia, Sean, Patrick, Jay, Charlie, Angela, and Trey. Whether it was putting a 16-foot inflatable Easter bunny that she got at a yard sale for 25 cents on her front lawn, or leading a parade of kids with hats, horns, costumes, and flags, she truly rocked. Her spirit lives on in each of her grandchildren, and I'm sure will be passed on to their children. Her influence is eternal. Her first grandchild was my daughter, Julia, who just read to you. You would think my mom won the lottery the day Julia arrived. My mom always noted how beautiful, smart, and respectful Julia was, even though she had entered those rebellious teenage years. We had a lot of fun having Julia stand next to my mom because she was now taller than her Nana. Given my mother's height, this was no great feat, but we reveled in it nonetheless. Among all her other qualities, Julia inherited my mom's attention to detail. When Julia needs to do a project for school, it's not a poster board with magazine cutouts glued on it. It's a full-blown, fully integrated, multimedia execution, including audio and video elements. With the birth of her first grandson, Sean, she again marveled in his arrival. She always noted how handsome and kind-hearted Sean was. She often told the story of how we were cleaning Sean's room one day, and he said, and I quote, "I think I have too many toys. Can we give them to those families and kids who don't have a place to live?" Wonder where Sean's heart came from. Starts with N, rhymes with Hannah. Anyone? The other story she loved to tell was one I shared with her following a parent-teacher conference at Sean's school. His teacher said, and I quote, "If I had a classroom full of Sean McGoverns, I would be the happiest teacher in the world. He's so respectful and so kind." Next to arrive was my son Patrick, and arrive he did. My mom always noted what a loving, funny character he was. She said he was always the first to meet her at the door and give her a big hug. Sound familiar? The day my mom suffered cardiac arrest, Patrick had spent the whole day swimming at her pool. As a matter of fact, the last words she spoke to me before her collapse were when she laughingly told me how she had asked Patrick a question and he went on and on and on with his answer. Quote, "That kid talks forever," she laughed. The gift of gab was yet another thing he got from his Nana. Following my 3 children came Dee Dee's boys, Jay and Charlie. Nana always commented on how cute and thoughtful Jay was. When Jay found out Nana was in the hospital, he asked his mom if she wanted to bring Nana his coloring book to make her feel better. At preschool, Jay is cited as being the first to help someone in need or to help someone who may be being picked on. Wonder where he got that from. My mom also loved to be needed. For the first 3 months of Jay's life, he was colicky. So my mom would show up at Dee Dee's house at 6 o'clock in the morning. Deirdre would hand Jay over to my mom and she would go to bed. Allegedly, she had this experience because I had colic, but that allegation has never been proven. And then there was Charlie. A common term used to describe my mom and one she used often to describe Charlie was hot ticket. From Nana, Charlie received his courage. He's the bravest little boy on the planet and drew on tremendous strength and courage to overcome the cancer that was trying to take his life when he was only 6 months old. As a little fighter, he did things his way and under his terms, in the same way my mom approached her death. The cardiac arrest should have taken her life immediately. Every doctor, from cardiologist to neurologist, viewed her as a miracle. She gave us 3 unforgettable weeks and the opportunity to tell her we love her, to share a few laughs, and to comfort her. She didn't leave until she was ready and under her terms. It makes me smile just to think about it. Additionally, Charlie shares my mom's fondness for being just the slightest bit stubborn. I'm sure none of you ever experienced that, but I throw it out there. If it's not his way, it's the highway, a plan my mom followed often. The next grandchild was Brendan's daughter, Angela. Angela is a sweetheart, and like her Nana, quite the fashionista. Aside from Nana, nobody could wear pink like Angela. Angela had a room in my mom's house that was the perfect little girl's room. It rivaled anything in Pottery Barn Yet my mom made it for a fraction of the cost by leveraging her immense creativity. Thank God for Angela. My mom loved dressing her in little girls' clothes. This was great therapy for my mom. I don't think she ever really fully recovered from finding out that as a child, I hid the white go-go boots she gave me between the walls of our house. She always wondered where they went. Anyone who knows me understands I would rather be climbing trees than wearing go-go boots. Her youngest grandchild was my partner Ginny's son, Trey. Because she cared for him weekly, he was a big part of her world and she of his. We often joke about how Trey learned to say Nana long before he learned to say Mama. Our fondest memory of Nana and Trey is how she always insisted on rocking him to sleep when it was time for his nap, and then she would never put him down after he fell asleep. She preferred to hold him because she felt he would sleep better and because she just loved him so much. Sometimes she held him for hours. Ginny and I had a quote we used often, "Thank God for Nana. She was always there when we were in a pinch." I have a few final humorous thoughts regarding my mom and our Nana. When she was not pleased with something, it was eye roll, shoulder shrug, and the comment, "Whatever." Dee has mastered this habit. For as empathetic as my mom was, she could never understand why, after spending 12 hours working in 90-degree weather as a landscaper, Brendan just didn't want to mow the lawn. She loved to make anisette cookies. I don't know why, but there were always eggshells in them, every single time. She always insisted Deirdre loved Italian food, even though she hated it. We always, absolutely, unequivocally had rum cake for our birthdays. Every year, we would proclaim, "Mom, we hate rum cake." And every year, year after year, she said, "Really? I thought you loved it." She brought a Jell-O mold for every holiday. Nobody ate it and it hurt her feelings, so Dee would always quaff down a piece just to make her happy. Always, always smiled at complete strangers. Always spend more than you can afford, another trait Dee has promised to carry on. Politics. Can anybody guess what party she was in? At Christmas, my mom would hang ornaments from each door frame. The problem was they were hung with her clearance in mind, and the rest of us would crack our heads on them over and over again. Lipstick, never without it. 3 sips of wine and she was toasted. Best house on Halloween and always delivered candy in costume. Love of the beach, sun, and lobster. As a matter of fact, before my mom had fully come out of her initial coma, we were bribing her with everything. I was going to send her to Italy. There was a million things. And Deirdre at one point said, "Cal will buy you a 2-pound lobster." And I swear to God, because I'm in his house, she opened her eyes and turned to Deirdre. I was like, "Oh my God." Never swam a stroke, but bought a house with a pool. This one always got me. Never believed the expiration date on dairy products really mattered. Taught every kid in Cloverland, our neighborhood growing up, how to sing Kumbaya. One year she did the entire house in pink, including the bulbs and bows on the Christmas tree. And the last humorous thought I'd like to share is we had a wonderful neighborhood. The quintessential neighborhood, what everyone should have in their lives, surrounded by neighbors and other children who just loved one another and had a ball. And the Duffys were there, and the McCarthys, and many other people. And my mom would like to host parties, the Swansons, everyone would come over and they'd be singing. And as many of you know, is when you have young children, after a little bit of time, you know, they get antsy, they want things or whatever. So my mom and Rick Duffy would go, and it's pitch black out, would go grab all the change they could find, huck it on the front lawn, give us all flashlights, and we'd be out there for hours. The dignity and grace by which my mom sailed through life has left a wake of beauty across the many hearts she touched. She spent her entire life dedicated to God, so we know she is in a wonderful place with Him. Knowing my mom, she's probably already in the midst of planning her arrival party and playing the role of Nana to the many children who have passed before her. May she rest in peace, yet enjoy every minute of the wonders of eternal life. We love you, we miss you, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.
Ooh.